Hi, I'm Danielle, and I'm going to talk about how going through things alone can sometimes make you a less empathetic person. Now, don't get me wrong, I definitely feel more empathetic now, but it's very, very similar to childbirth. If you're going through a really, really hard time, you kind of like knuckle down and do it. And then once you're sort of out of it, you do tend to have this sense of superiority. It's earned, but the superiority part of it isn't. So you should be proud of yourself, but not feel superior. But unfortunately, as part of it, people do tend to have a superiority complex when they come out of it. And I know this because I've done it myself. It makes you less empathetic towards people. And someone gets lost in a forest, just we'll figure it out because I figured it out. But in the meantime, you could have helped them out, but now they've just suffered even more injuries than they actually really needed to. Now, the sentiment isn't actually unique to me because it's definitely something I picked up from my parents, because it was always something if you were devastated by something, or something had really gone awry in your life, the feedback I usually would get, especially from my parents, would be, I've been through worse. I pulled it together, and yeah, I mean that's great, and that's fair. But going through that, resenting the fact that no one helped you, that resentment carries on, and that's how I see it. That superiority complex actually comes from resentment because no one helped. I did it by myself, and now no one else deserves a helping hand either. But this is the thing, right? Like, it's most certainly been engineered to be that way. We are told, well, you got out of it, you're one of the lucky ones. They can't get out of it, they're one of the unlucky ones. And that's why unaliving yourself is seen as weak, even though, let's be honest, it's probably the scariest thing that you would ever have to consider in your entire life. And the truth is, those sorts of feelings are actually, they feel like a kill switch. They feel like a visceral reaction that is seen as unnatural in this world, but our world isn't very natural, is it? That's why you have so many people that are getting to the point where their kill switch is basically just firing off every 5 minutes. And for me, I wasn't even aware that that kill switch feeling was happening. I just allowed it to keep happening in my body without recognizing what was going on. So it just sort of like hung around. If you pretend you don't feel the feeling, that feeling is just going to keep coming until you learn to identify it. Another concern I've actually had is that a lot of people have been turning to ChatGPT, and yeah, I most certainly used it for a while for like a wide range of things. I'm into a lot of hysteric stuff. I'm just nosy about everything and anything, but I'd also asked it for advice as well, and this is kind of what I found. I recognized pretty much really quickly that it's a validation mirror. That's all it is. It's a validation mirror. It's not really going to expand on your insights too much. If anything, like I'd bring in like new concepts and they'd be like, oh, wow, that's great. And I'm like, it's not really that helpful, is it? When I'm the clever one. Now, I once trained an accounts payable machine. It can only go off the input that you put into it. That's all it can do. It's just the input that you put into it, and then it just regurgitates it out. It's not really going to make the connections like a human brain can. It's not going to pattern recognize. Not really. Not in the way the human brain can. And we know this about AI. AI is not created to be smarter than us. It's just created to culminate all of our intelligence sort of together, but it's not necessarily going to make the connections because you cannot have logic without empathy. I do have a Patreon up. There's not much of me getting ready because I'm literally just doing washing around the house at the moment. If you would like to jump onto the Patreon, you can actually see some of my videos that I'll be making over the weekend. I'll actually be talking more about unaliving ideation. when it first started for me, how I've reframed it through the years, how it's popped up for me throughout the years, and how that actually formatively changes you when you are a child. So if you're interested, jump on, have a look. Patreon's totally free. And if you have a question or you have something that you would like to discuss, if I feel I'm not the right person to discuss it with, I'm not going to pretend I know something that I don't know. But feel free to message me. Always happy to have a chat.